Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Finest XI, and in this video, we're going to do something I've never done before. We're going to go through Shoreline, and I'm going to show you guys all of the loot on the entire map. We're going to go through every little section, every little piece. I'm going to tell you what's there, what can spawn there, why you should be there, and yeah, so let's hop right into it. A quick side note, I do want to mention that in this run, I'm not going to show you guys every little cache that is on Shoreline. If you're not familiar with caches, they are these little barrels and green hidden traps in the ground that spawn pretty much any loot in the game. They're like little lottery tickets. You loot them, you can pretty much find anything inside. I'll show you guys some if I think about it when I pass them. There are some that are really close to places we're going to be going, so I'll definitely mention those. But if you want a full detailed guide on where all the Shoreline caches are, I'm going to direct you to mapgenie.io, because there you'll be able to see every cache on the map and you can figure out which ones you want to hit for yourself. So alright, so I spawned over here by Road to Customs, so I guess that's actually just where we'll start off this guide. I do want to mention real quick, if you are over here by Road to Customs, you can hit this grenade box. That is there in case you didn't know. Also, watch out for that barbed wire. Also, a lot of scavs will spawn around here, so if this is your extract, please be careful when rolling up. They like to sit over there in the grass and here on the road. Anyway, I'm going to try and go in a route that makes sense and doesn't waste too much time, but I'm sure I'm going to mess this up somehow. First thing I want to mention is that we're not going to go down this way. There is a little guard tower and a couple of caches that way. But other than that, there's really not that much loot. The first point of interest that we want to head over to is the radio tower right over here. And like I said, once again, I know that I'm going to hear it in the comment section that I just passed probably 2, 3, or 4 caches that are in the ground. It's okay. Like I said, I'm going to point you guys in a direction of a map showing all the caches. If you want to hit them, you can figure that out for yourself. So this radio tower up here doesn't really have that much loot. It's mostly the subject of a quest in Tarkov, but if you come over here into this bush, you can find a cache. And like I said, I will show you guys a couple of caches along the way if I think about them. So caches, if you know, like I said, if you're new to Tarkov, you need to be aware that these things exist. They're hidden in the ground just like this across multiple maps. You have Shoreline, Customs, Interchange, and I think maybe Woods as well. I'm not sure, but there's tons of good loot options inside of them. You guys should definitely be aware that they exist. Okay, so that's radio tower. We're gonna head on over to a weather station, which is just across this field here. If you guys just spawned into Shoreline, I do want to mention that it can be quite dangerous to cross this gigantic open area between the weather station, radio tower, Road to Customs, and all that jazz. Typically at the beginning of a Shoreline round, you have people from all spawns rushing towards the Shoreline resort, which is going to be just over yonder. So just be wary. Crossing through this field in the beginning of the round is not exactly the smartest idea, especially if you've noticed there's not really much cover out there. So if you do get shot at, you're going to have a pretty difficult time surviving, most likely. All right, so here we are at the weather station. There is actual loot here, unlike the radio tower we just looked at. So we'll start off by going inside of the actual weather station. As soon as you come in here on your left, you have this duffel and a food spawn. And there are food and drink spawns on these tables and couches in here. So if you're ever in need, check that out. A med bag here as well. You can get anything from stuff to stop bleed, stuff to heal, painkillers, even potentially ophthalmoscopes, which are worth a lot of money, 80K-ish. So always check med bags just for that reason alone. You come up to the second floor, you have a lot to loot actually. You have this PC, which can spawn graphics cards or expensive tech. You have the safe, which can spawn any number of expensive items. On the ground in here as well, be careful. You will definitely miss it if you're not looking. Tech can spawn down here. This is usually 20 or 40K, so you would have missed that had you not been looking. Check this desk as well. If I recall, something spawns on it. Shelving here for you know, random junk items, and then each one of these filing cabinets, if you didn't know, can be looted. So all 12 of these can definitely be searched. If you're unfamiliar, filing cabinets can offer lots of things like flash drives, expensive junk as well. Really worth checking out for sure. Also, just as a side note, if you do want to get on the roof of this building for some reason, you come out here to do that. There is no loot up here, and I wouldn't really ever recommend being up here. It's kind of dangerous. You're really unprotected from all 4 sides, and it's just not a very good spot to hold. That being said, let's go up to the next tower. A little weapons crate here too, in case you guys did not know. Along with this one, these two can be looted. You can technically find Red Rebel ice picks inside of those, so If you want to try your luck, be my guest. No one's going to stop you there. But let's head on into the actual weather tower. There are two reasons to come up here. One, the grenade box. If you're feeling cheeky, you can try and get some grenades out of this here. The other reason is there is a key spawn here. And now let me look at the map just so I can get it right. It is the safe 321 key, which is a key for the safe inside of the Shoreline Resort. You can find it either here in this locker or right here on top of the grenade box. Other than that, this is potentially an okay spot to be if you're waiting for someone to push you. But then again, it's very unprotected getting in and out of this, so maybe not worth holding. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't remember if there's anything inside of here. Typically, people don't tend to come over this way. Yeah, nothing inside. So that is the weather station for you guys. The next place I want to head over to now is going to be... I guess we'll do it... Yeah, I guess we'll go power station next. So if you notice, there's actually a lot of stations on this map. You have the radio station, the weather station, and now we're going to head to the power station, which is just this way. It's pretty much in the exact center of the map. Like I said, that way is the resort. There's one other thing over there we'll hit later, probably at the end of this video. I think I'll do a full circle around the map. I'm going slightly the wrong way. Anyway, so this way is the power station, like I was just saying. I do want to mention quickly that under this bridge with the tank, there is a cache that people like to hit. If you're coming this way, it's, you know, pretty in the area, so definitely worth checking out. And these are the caches, the little ground caches that are hard to see. As you can tell, it's got grass and stuff all over it, so it's, you know, supposed to be hidden, quote unquote. But definitely check that if you're ever in the area. And now let's make our way over to the power station. So here we are. A couple of things to note. Usually there's a sniper scav sitting on top of this building. He is pretty accurate and pretty aggressive. So if you have range or anything like that, be sure to scope up there to see if he's sitting up there before you make your approach. Otherwise, he will probably send some bullets your way. But entering the compound here, we have a couple of things to loot. We have this duffel bag right out here. Also be aware, there will be scavs sitting in this compound, usually 2 or 3 at least. So again, besides sniper scav, watch out for them. They can be quite deadly here. Just take your time, hold some angles, and you'll be okay. So we have that duffel bag back there. We also have another key spawn. This is going to be San 104, which is the West Wing Resort 104 room. It's a blue key card spawn. Blue key card is only about 25 million right now, so this key is a good one to have. A chance of getting some pretty expensive loot with that key. We'll go ahead and head on inside here. A couple things to note. People can be up here, all around you up on the second floor, so be wary of that. Typically, I find that people leave this door open if they're inside. So if it's closed, you know, don't get too comfortable, but you might be the first one in here. Also, if the scavs outside are dead, that's typically a good giveaway as well. But once you come in here, you have some toolboxes on the ground that you can check out. Toolboxes can offer really good expensive junk. And then also coming into this next room, a couple things to note. A key can spawn here as well. It's East 222, which is actually a LEDX graphics card, super valuable key. It is a shared room. Also, East 226 will get you into the same set of rooms, but this is East 222 spawn. Like I said, just a really valuable key. Good loot inside that room. 2 jackets here. Of course, you can find any key inside the game, inside of those jackets, as well as fuel. The blue fuel can actually spawn inside of them, which is kind of funny if you ask me. 1 duffel bag inside of here, and then other than that, people usually don't have any reason to come back here. There may be a food or drink spawn on this table, if I recall, but that duffel was pretty much the only reason to come back there. Now, I am going to take you up here to the second floor, show you guys a couple of more toolboxes. Like I said, great loot can be inside of there. And then we have a key. The first key we're going to showcase here, the HEPS key, which is short for Key to HEP Station Storage. This is given through a Jaeger task down the line, so I wouldn't recommend buying it because questing will get you this key for free. I haven't hit this room regularly in a long time, but when this key first came out, it was a really good room. There's 3 crates in here, as you can see, and then weapon parts, including some pretty expensive ones, will end up spawning on this table. This Gemtech silencer is not cheap, and then you have that nice little pistol grip there. You can find a lot of good loot on this table, so it's a very good key to have whenever you're just casually strolling through Shoreline, and both doors here can be unlocked to get onto the other side. So other than that, we can round our way over to the back here. I believe there is one more duffel. Actually, no, I think that's it. Don't know why I thought that. Anyway, yeah, that is it for the Shoreline power station. Like I said, watch out for the scavs out front, the sniper scav on top. And just be careful down here. Next, we will actually head all the way down to the beach. Like I said, I'm going to try and do a full circle around the map. This pathing could get a little wonky, but I'm doing my best to keep it all in order. Also, in the description below, I will have several links, I'm sure. One of them will be a map of Shoreline. I'll go ahead and call out, you know, where I am at all times. So if you want to follow along with a map on a second monitor, you can do so. I did skip this over here. There's only a couple reasons to head this way into the blue fence area. There are maybe a duffel bag, a cache, and possibly an ammo crate this way. It's nothing too crazy. CCP extract is all the way down this road, so that is an option for you if you want to take it. There's also a spawn behind that blue fence over there, but there's really not much worth showcasing that way, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip it for now. I head on this way. We're at the bottom center of the map, heading towards the pier. This is a pretty busy location for a couple of reasons. So first of all, walking up this road here, the very first piece of loot we have is this crate right here. I believe it is an ammo box, so if you're ever looking for some expensive ammo, you can check that out there. Heading on up to this 3-way intersection. A couple things to note. One, lots of the ledges and rocks around this area on both sides can usually have snipers on them. Like, players will be sitting up there posted, waiting for people to cross through these intersections here. So just be careful for that. Also, the back windows here of the bank, we'll call it a bank. There's many names for this. These back windows, people can get in there and look out of them, and they can see you on this ledge. So be careful for that. We have a wooden weapon box up here, which you can check if you're feeling dangerous. And I will start with the gas station and then move on down the pier and show you guys what's over there. So again, normally you can expect scavs to spawn around this 3-way intersection. They will be aggressive. They will shoot at you from a distance. There's little cover pushing up to this gas station, so do be careful. Again, all the hills around can typically have people posted up, especially this hill up here overlooking the gas station, and as you can see, the pier. Snipers like to sit up there often. So, quick story about this gas station. You can actually get inside and get past the burning fire, and there's loot in the back of it, okay? The problem is, I actually, since they updated it, they changed the pathing that you have to take to get inside. Every time I've tried it since then, I've just burned myself alive. You can find loot on this side entrance in that room there, but the majority of the loot inside is going to be on this side. Now, I think what I'll do here is I'll try and get inside and see if I can do it safely. I'm probably going to end up just burning myself up, and I'll have to come back in to finish the rest of this video, but we might as well try. So the old path was simple. It was come in, hug a left, and you went straight in to that back door. Like I said, I think they've since changed it. What I think I'm going to try and do here is go in and then left. Let's see how this goes. Okay. So I don't know if that's actually the correct way to go about this, but it did work well. And we didn't take that much damage. The old way actually gave you way more damage than that. So that's cool. Anyway, weapons crate inside of here. Like I said, Red Rebel ice picks can be found in those big green ones. We have a safe here as well. Taking only that much damage, it's definitely worth coming inside of here. You can expect this to usually not be looted. So that's pretty cool. And then another weapons crate inside of here as well. Watch out for these windows on the sides. People can just look right in and see you. And it's also, if you're feeling cheeky, this could be a really good spot to try and counter people sitting up on Sniper Hill up here. If you manage to get inside this gas station, very few people are going to expect you to be able to sit in here. Pro tip, but you didn't hear it from me. Bathroom back here has nothing. Now getting out is going to be the fun part. I guess I'm just going to jump over and go back the same way. I should also mention that I do have max strength and endurance, so my jumps are a lot higher. I'm going to recommend, if you try this, that you go jump on this part, not over this part, which is what I think I just did coming in here. So let's see. Yep. Only hurts a little bit. Try it in offline mode first. I'm going to tell you that right now. Go offline, come in here, practice a jump. The last thing you want to do is be on a real live run, full of loot, and then try and do what I just did and end up dying. Trust me, you don't want that. All right, so let's head down to the pier and showcase all of the loot that you can find that way, because it is actually worth coming this way. And then the beach down here has a lot of goodies as well. First thing to note, when you are pushing down towards the pier, check this back of this SUV here. A key will spawn inside of here, East 206, which is a nice room. You can find weapon parts, meds, gold chains, even stuff like lions and bitcoins, if I recall, in 205, which 206 is connected to. It's a double room. You either need 205, 206 to get inside. All right, pushing this way. Always be careful, because Sanitar can spawn down here on the pier. This is the first spawn we're going to talk about with him. He's the boss. He's the scav boss of Shoreline. It is him and his two guards. They have a ton of HP, and they can be quite deadly. So just be careful pushing onto the pier. For that reason, you have this static spawn of a dead scav, which can be looted. So check him out if you come through. But we'll head inside the bank. Like I said, we're going to call it a bank for now. Head inside the bank and talk about it. 4, 8, 12 lootable filing cabinets. Yes, the ones on the ground here can be looted. Definitely worth checking out. Possible food and drink spawn in here. Can't exactly recall, but we're going to go upstairs carefully. If you don't think you're the first one here, just be very careful entering and make sure to check up here as you're approaching. One computer to hit here, as well as a safe. Other thing, remember how I said that you can see out these windows? Well, yes, you can. But it's not a secret that you can see out of these windows. So people sitting on the rocks and ledges over there will typically look in here as soon as they post up to make sure they're not being counter sniped. Okay? So whenever you do come up to loot this safe, it puts you actually in a very dangerous position where snipers can pick you off. In this game, what you can do is you can hit F to search something, and then you can immediately go prone before the window pops up. That way, when you're searching it, you'll actually be laying on the ground. If you try and do this while laying on the ground already, and you hit F, it stands your character up. But there's a way to cheese that. We're going to hit F and immediately go prone, and that should allow us to search it while prone. Exactly like that. Now, the current patch we're on, the looting of things gets a little funky. If you try and hit F and then back away, it's not going to let you inside. So make sure whenever you hit F on this that you don't move back. You just hit prone right after you hit F. All right, same thing could be done with this computer. Like I said, anything in the game can be looted this way. It's much safer, especially here in front of this window. All right, coming on over to the other side. We have another safe we can check, another computer as well. And besides that, we have this strange bathroom here. And the back door, which we can use to get out this way. This little side store here has 2 registers inside if you really want to be nitpicky. I'm sorry, just 1 register actually. And rubles can spawn inside of there. Coming down this way, you have the pier boat extract. There's no current indication, visual indication on if the boat is up or not available for an extract. See, it's an optional extract. What you do is you walk down the pier and get right next to that boat over there. If you get the countdown timer, then the boat is open. If you don't, then it's not. All right, nothing to check for in here, but we do have 1 or 2 small reasons to make the extremely dangerous trek out here towards the little lighthouse. So as you can see, I'm sure you can kind of piece this together for yourself, but this is almost a suicide run. It's not something I normally do unless I'm feeling pretty brave. You come out here for this cache. Again, that lesson I just taught you about the prone looting, we can do the same exact thing here. F prone, and we're in a lot more cover than we just were standing up. So definitely worth proning here for that reason. We got a weapons crate right up here. You could do the same thing, the F and prone. Still dangerous, but one final reason to come over here is a key spawn 219 and 205 actually. Is that correct? On Broken Box, 2nd floor of Lighthouse. 2 possible keys can spawn here, West 219 and West 205. I actually didn't know that 2 keys could spawn, but will be right here on top of the wood. So if you want to come out here and check for that, be my guest. Okay, and that is everything that the Shoreline Pier has to offer. Now, I did want to mention one thing real quick. I just missed a key spawn that I don't normally see, and now that I'm looking at the map, I can actually point it out to you guys. West 205. Yes, West 205 on the ground next to the filing cabinets that are open. You can actually find West 205 key right here on the ground. So if you guys come in here, be sure to check for that. All right, now we're gonna head down this way. Do be careful, because this jump right here, if you try and jump off and land down here, you will break your legs. I've done it too many times to count. Just wanted to point that out for the video. Maybe save someone's ankles. Spare them. All right, coming down here to the beach, we actually have a few reasons to head down this way. For one, we have a not so hidden cache right here in these blue stalls. You can check that out right there. And as soon as you walk out of the blue stalls, this beach chair right here on the corner can spawn West 221, which is part of 3 rooms that are connected, and it is a red keycard spawn, which is a measly 75 million ruble spawn. I don't mean to get your hopes up. You're most likely never going to see the red keycard, but there's a chance. And if you're a gambling man or woman, then the red keycard hunt is for you. All right, heading on this way. There's nothing else on the beach for a little while. We'll come up here. I'll show you guys the view from this, sniper position up here overlooking the gas station and the pier. You know, bring a long range scope if you're looking to do Shooter Born in Heaven. You have a lot of options to lay down up here and get some cheeky angles. All right, so we will continue to head further down. I guess you can say this is west, I hope. I actually have my compass. What is this, west? I think this actually is west, right? Because that's north. Okay, cool. Head somewhat northwest from the sniper hill. And we're going to make our way to the next point of interest. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We'll continue to head down the road. Like I said, I'm piecing this route out as we do it live right now. So forgive me if I'm a little shaky. But we're actually going to head to Scav Island, okay? Which is this little barge that leads out to this little island right out here in front of me. Then we can make our way to the village, the town, and all that good loot. There was a cache right there. There's a storm drain exit out into the ocean there. There's a cache right around there. Just for reference, if that's something that interests you. We're going to make our way over here. Again, this is a tunnel extract. We're clear on the other side of the map from where we started now. Not making bad time. Not at all, actually. We're going to cross this boat here to get to Scav Island. You can expect scavs to spawn on Scav Island. I don't know if that is a surprise to any of you. But just hop on over here. Like I said, be careful for the scavs. 2 caches, I believe, on this island. One right here, back of the boathouse. I think there might be one somewhere out here in the grass. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it there. Weapons crate inside of here. Next, we can head on over to this little shack. 2 med bags inside of here, definitely worth checking out. And now this table, right here next to this boat motor, you can find east 226 or 328 on the table beside the boat motor, or on crate to the right of the table. So on this crate as well could spawn a key. So check this table and this crate here for those 2 keys. And again, this crate is actually lootable, so check that for sure. Last thing we can do is come on inside this house. Check this green crate here, you know, for potentially a red rebel. Other than that, that is every piece of loot here on Scav Island. It's not a bad place to come check. The caches definitely make it worth it. The key spawns are good too. But for now, we'll head back onto the mainland, and I'll show you guys a couple things around tunnel that we need to check out. Alright, so making our way up here to tunnel. First thing I want to show you guys is that there is a lootable weapons crate right here in this little bunker. These crates typically don't get much love. You know, you can find good stuff inside of them. It all comes down to how much you actually enjoy looting inside of Tarkov. But again, if you're a gambling person, then these crates can spawn really good expensive items. So it's worth checking out in that case. On this yellow bus here, right outside of tunnel, is the West 301 key spawn right about here where this wreck bat just spawned. West 301 typically goes for a lot of money. It is a LEDX room on the 3rd floor of the West Wing, and it's just a good key to have. So definitely check that bus, especially if you spawn here right outside tunnel. Zero reason not to check this bus. Now, a couple things I want to point out here about the Old Faithful Tunnel extract is that it's not immune to extract campers. And I'm not going to go too in detail here, but what I want to mention to you is that you can sometimes expect people to sit up here in these bushes looking at the extract here. Also, you can get up right above the tunnel, right about there. People love to sit up there too. The safest way to take this extract is to either go at the far edge down on the beach, or all the way up against that back wall. Come up there to where they like to sit, and then drop down safely if you can and get behind that fire truck. It's still dangerous, but that's the best options you have. I just wanted to mention that briefly while we're here. All right, now lots to dissect over here. I think I'm going to do this in a bit of a funky way. We're going to start with everything on the left side of this road, make our way over to the swamp further up, and then come back down and hit the right side of the road, and then make our way to the Shoreline Resort. It's a lot, I know. There's a lot to this map. It's my top recommended loot map for newer players, actually, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. But this town area here by the tunnel extract is one of the most underrated places in the entire game. I'm not going to go into detail and go into every single house around this area we're in here, but I do want to point out that you can spend an eternity looting every little nook and cranny, and you can typically find great things to hit. Toolboxes, duffel bags, crates, jackets, anything in this game that you can loot can give you good loot that's valuable. So it's worth checking out. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell it short. You can make really good money hitting everything inside of all of these houses. I'm just going to point out a couple of these things to you. Like I said, I'm not going to go into huge detail. I actually already missed something. This white bus here right outside of tunnel can spawn the safe key for the cottage, which we will hit up in just a little bit. So come in here and check the seats for that. And then once you do that, one of the biggest reasons to come right over here is to go into this fence. Check this white house. The door will spawn closed. So once you come inside of here, check this chair for the West 203 key. West 203 is connected to West 205. You need one of those keys only. And that is a red key card spawn as well. Again, 75 million currently. 2 jackets. Don't ever skip these. Lots of good stuff to be found inside of jackets. Come over here. You can check. Is it this bed? No. Check here in this back room. That's actually pretty insane. There is a tech spawn here and potentially graphics cards. Okay. So White House could make you a ton of money. Graphics cards right now, a little over 1.2 million rubles because of the crazy wipe that we're having right now with the price of IRL Bitcoins being so high. Absolutely insane. Anyway, continuing down, looting everything on the left side of this road first. There's, you know, again, ton of loot in and around every one of these buildings. Weapons crates. Carcola's like 20k. Just so much for you guys to check out in each and every one of these buildings. The main store right there. Heading back this way, there is a couple of caches that you can find on the ground right here in the back of this area. I'm totally gonna miss this one. I did miss the barbed wire though. It's somewhere right around here. It's a barrel cache if I'm not mistaken. It's sitting somewhere in the back of these bushes. Anyway, we'll move on. Don't want to spend too much time wasting looking for those. Again, check inside each and every one of these houses. Jackets here. Jackets in most of these houses. And just a lot of good loot over here on this side of the road. More toolboxes and everything in between. Heading on over to this other side, there is definitely, probably, a cache here, hidden on the ground. I remember this one. This one is really easy to find for me. But now we're gonna head up into the swamp very briefly so I can talk about the potential goodies that you can find there. One thing about the swamp, avoid walking in the water. It slows you down to frustratingly minimal speed. It sucks to walk through. All right, so as soon as you enter the swamp from the town side, the main attraction here that we're looking for is called the Chairman's House, and it's actually this first house right here. There's a lot of good loot inside this place. A lot of these streamer items for Kappa, a lot of good gunpowder spawns and everything in between. There's a jacket right there. You can find stuff on this table. And then head on over to the left rooms here. Check the mattress very carefully. You can find valuables on there. A toolbox for you guys. I find green gunpowder here almost every time, I want to say. Every time that I come through. Green gunpowder is great for crafting, great money. Spawn on the desk there, or the nightstand, and spawns here on the shelving as well. So check this house out for sure. Now, to be honest, I don't even have to go in here to show you guys the rest of what's back here. There's about 2 or 3 or 4 caches that you can find in the swamp this way. Not a whole lot in the rest of these buildings. There's some quest buildings that way that you just have to go in there for quest reasons. But there's not a lot to the rest of the swamp besides the caches. On the far other side of the swamp, there's one measly weapons crate up against the back wall. I might show you guys that later, but it's really not worth heading out to. So in an effort to save time, what I'm going to do now is double back, and we will hit the rest of the Shoreline town on the other side of the road that we didn't hit before. Okay, so remember we showed off what was on that side of the road. We're going to come back and show off what's on this side of the road, which is arguably the same, if not better, than the other side. Again, each and every one of these little houses, shacks, huts, and everything in between has potential valuable loot inside. And I encourage you to come through and check all of it out. Now, at this point, I want to mention I do have a specific video on how to make money here in the Shoreline town. If that's something that interests you, I'll link that in the description below as well. But I'll give you the TLDR since you're already here in this video. Basically, what I encourage people to do if they're struggling for money, if they're having a hard time and they just can't seem to break through, stop looting the flashy streamer loot. Don't hit up the resort. Don't hit up the tech stores of Interchange, the Ultramed store in Interchange. All the stuff that you see glorified, maybe you see streamers doing it, maybe you see streamers pulling out 10 million rubles every raid. All the stuff that is glorified and flashy, it's not really good for newer players to hit that kind of stuff. It's better for newer players to come out to a place like the Shoreline town here and rummage through what looks like crap. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people don't realize how valuable this crap can be. Like I said in that Shoreline Town How to Make Money video, I brought in a simple bag, a simple gun. I risked virtually nothing, and I made out with 10 times what I brought in because of all the duffels, the jackets, and everything you can find in this entire town. It's beyond worth it. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you're a newer player struggling to make money. Again, I'm not going to go through each and every one of these little houses, but they all have duffels, jackets, and everything in between, so be sure to check it out. There's a couple caches in this town as well, and right outside of it. A heck of a good place to loot. Super worth your time. No doubt, no doubt. All right, we're going to head on up here. I just want to quickly show you guys the suicide fields. And now, when you spawn in on Shoreline, there's some tunnel spawns, some swamp spawns, and stuff like that. Be sure not to run through this field because other people from other spawns will typically be nearby. And if you're in the middle of this field, you're not going to have much cover if you get shot at. So you definitely want to avoid running through this open field. It's kind of just a good life lesson in Tarkov. Don't ever run through open areas with no cover, because what are you going to do if you get shot at? There's not much to do. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this raid and come back in on a fresh one so I can avoid giving you guys the anxiety of looking at the countdown timer at the top right of the screen. All right, cool. All right, cool. So I just came into a fresh offline mode with a reset timer. I also hit randomized weather conditions, and it just so happened to randomly put us back on a map with rain. I can't say I'm too thrilled about that. We also spawned not too far away from where we just ended that last run, so I can pick up right here where I left off at the suicide fields, which I said to be wary of. Be careful. There's actually a cache almost right in the middle of the field. I wouldn't recommend looting that unless it's like nighttime or, you know, you're at the end of a raid. It's probably just not worth it. Anyway, moving on up. Tunnel is that way. We have the town. We have the fields right there. And then we have the villa, which is one of the coolest places here on Shoreline, if you ask me. The villa is just a couple of buildings, mainly this one right here inside of this compound. Something to be careful of. Sanitar, second spawn here in the villa in the building next over. Very dangerous to fight here. They're super aimbotty. Every time they spawn here, they tend to be quite dangerous. Please be careful. They also tend to see you before you see them. It's horrible. Anyway, let's start here at the villa. First thing I want to do is showcase something really cool that my good friend Swamp Fox showed me. I've been playing Shoreline for years. I never knew about this until he showed me, so shout out to him. What key is it? The SMW car key opens up this blue trunk of this car here on Shoreline. And it's nothing crazy. It's like rubles or something that spawns in the back of here. But he said he's found an MP5 in the back of this car right here, which I just think is super cool. But anyway, moving on, let's head on up into the villa here. You have this duffel outside. Entering the building, you have these two jackets that you can hit here as well. We're going to take a left. We're going to immediately come upstairs. We're going to immediately come upstairs and head on into this room. There's a safe that you can hit in here. Open. You don't need any keys to do so. Head on into the next room here. This is a weapon locker. And this top compartment is a safe that you can loot as well, if you didn't know. And you know what? At this point, I'm going to go ahead and come back in to this raid because I'm not dealing with a thunder trying to be louder than I am while I'm filming a YouTube video. So be right back. Again, one sec. Okay, so for some reason, I can't seem to get a raid where it's not looking like it's about to rain cats and dogs. So I guess we just have to move on. I'm so sorry about the choppiness. But we're here back in the villa. Like I said, there's a safe to loot inside of that room. You come into this next room here. You have the weapons locker and safe here as well. Then you have the PC, which can be looted in here, as well as one more weapons locker. Other than that, that is the upstairs of the villa. We make our way back downstairs. Nothing here. in the side room, those jackets are not lootable. But if you come here to the back room, you have the West 220 key spawn, which is a very valuable room right here in this locker. Check that every time you pass through because a key can spawn there. Then you have this duffel bag to check as well before heading on over to the next yard, which is the Shoreline cottages. Now, the cottage key, if I recall, spawns right here on these blue barrels. So the key to get inside this house can spawn right there on those barrels. Once you have that key, open up this door, come on inside of the actual cottage. Now, I don't loot this normally. I actually bought the key for this video. So forgive me, this is actually the one place on Shoreline where I'm not totally familiar with what's inside, but I know there is good loot to be found inside of this building. So be sure to check out all the rooms before heading upstairs, where we have several more rooms to glance over. We have a PC here as well as a weapons locker, just like in the villa. Next room over here, we will head inside. I see a duffel bag here in the corner. Be sure to check that out as well. And there's a safe by the door. This safe is always unlocked. There's actually a key for this safe. It is a useless key. It does nothing. You don't need it to open this safe. So check that out there before heading on into the next room over, where we have one more safe. Actually, forgive me. This is the safe that requires the cottage safe key. There are actually two safes inside of this building, which is pretty special. So you need the back entrance key to get inside, cottage safe key to open this bad boy up. Now, this should have the same loot as every other safe, but you can get anything from rubles to dollars to euros to rollers and everything in between. Very valuable stuff there. So two safes, a PC, duffel, and weapon locker to check inside of the actual cottage. And then this door can't be open. There's a jacket in there as well. Be sure to look for that. All right, moving on from the cottages. We're getting towards the end of the video. We still have a little bit to go. We have the resort as well, which I'm going to try and speed through. But yeah, we're getting there. This little construction yard over here can definitely spawn some loot, including the SMW key, the key that opens a car trunk. You can actually find that right outside the fence here on a box near the blue dumpster. Which, can I jump this? I can't. Feels bad. That little 7,000 ruble key can be found right here on a box, if you happen to want to look for that. All right, and we are finally gonna head towards the Shoreline Resort, the coveted holy grail building of all of Shoreline. I do have a few videos just on the resort. We have a resort tips video. If that's something that interests you, you can definitely check that out. But for the purposes of this current video, I'm going to show you guys all of the loot that you can find inside. But before we get to the actual resort, we have the terminal here, the bus depot, whatever you want to call it, where you can find stuff on the buses outside of here, including the SAN 112 key that is West 112. Can spawn in here on the actual bus seats. That key is a blue key card room as well. Be sure to check for that key. Come inside to the actual terminal here. Check the ground very carefully. There's a weapons crate here. You can find water filters and other valuable loot just lying around on the ground. There's a dead scav you can loot there. Stuff will spawn in that locker. You come inside this room, you have filing cabinets you can loot, as well as register and two jackets behind the door, which people miss constantly. So check for that. Fuel can also spawn in here, which is very valuable. Just be sure to check all the shelving in here very carefully. All right, coming out back, before we head away from this area, I do want to point out there is a cache right here, just by this tree. And now we will make our way up to the Shoreline Resort. I'm going to start with the front here. What I'm going to tell you right now is I don't ever recommend coming into the building this way. The reason I'm doing it is just to show you guys what loot there is right here in the front. but it's too dangerous, and I would never recommend entering the building the way I'm doing right now. I will show you how I will recommend it here in a second, but I want to point out that in this helicopter, you can find a weapons crate there. If you're feeling extra bold, you can check that out. But otherwise, yeah, I would never recommend entering the front or the back of the resort wings the way I'm doing now. Every one of these balconies, or most of them, and all these windows, people can get on and peek out of. So it's just extremely dangerous for you to be running in front of them. What is a safe way, or the safest way, however, in my opinion, is to come in through the west side here of the resort. Jump in through this gate. There's a little toolbox in there if you care enough. But come inside immediately to this hole in the wall. This is, in my opinion, the safest way to get inside the resort. So as soon as you come inside, check here on the left. Lots of everything in the game can spawn on those shelvings there. I guess the way I'll do this is floor by floor, just to make this simple. But we'll start with the basement, which is technically floor -1. As soon as you come inside this basement, there's a couple of quest objectives there along that wall. But if you travel past the pool here, a couple of things to know. I always love to come down here. There's many duffel bags to hit. There's one right there. Drink spawn can be here. A shotgun spawn can spawn in here as well. Another duffel bag as well as food will spawn on this table. Head on this way. One more duffel bag to hit right there. Before we head back upstairs, one more duffel bag in here, as well as a duffel, a red keycard spawn. Loose loot can spawn on those boxes. 2 weapons crates to hit. Another duffel. And finally, one more duffel bag. So as you can see, the basement, which is usually very uncontested, really awesome place for you to come down here and loot. So now we're going to head upstairs to the first floor of the resort. I also want to point this out. The way that I'm going about looting this, I'm in offline mode right now. I'm showing you guys all the loot. I'm not telling you really anything about how to navigate this place safely. Like I said, Resort Tips video is more focused on the actual PvP and how to safely navigate the resort. This is just for loot. So I'm being very laissez-faire, very casual, and acting reckless, showing you guys all this loot. Another duffel bag up here in this wood room. Drink and food can spawn on that couch there. This middle room here, under the back stairs, can spawn lots of good stuff. Lots of everything in the game can be found here as well. Fuel even. It's so funny that I find that now in offline mode. And beard oil too. Those are two really... That just goes to show what can spawn in this room. It's a great place to hit. Navigating down first. There's a few rooms in the Shoreline Resort that are always open and that have med bags and duffels. But what I want to point out here mostly is how I would come here to loot with keys, because that's the biggest reason to come here. We start with room 112. It's a blue key card spawn here on this entertainment center. Food and drink as well as 2 duffel bags. Very awesome room to hit. Blue key card currently going for 24 mil. Med bag in there. Like I said, lots of little bags and knickknacks on the side rooms, but we're going to point out the big valuable rooms. We also have West 104. It's marked Sand 104 as far as keys go. You come in here and check the desk here for... Sorry, I thought it was there. The blue key card. Dollars can spawn under that, folder there. And then meds can spawn on these shelves as well. Those are the 2 rooms that I would hit here on first floor west. Now we're going to move up to second. Technically, there is a key. I'm going to point out which one it is so you guys can be exactly aware of it. It's not a safe key. Storeroom. Health Resort Utility Room key. Technically, the janitor's closet. This key can open up a few rooms at the end of both wings. This is a multi-purpose key. I believe this opens up 2nd and 3rd floor of west. Definitely 3rd floor of east. So if you want this key, it's a really good multi-purpose key. Loose loot, jacket, very awesome. Coming down here on the 2nd floor, we have... I just realized I'm missing a key. That's okay, though. We have 221, which is connected to 2 other rooms. I'm going to put them up on the screen just so I don't get them wrong. But 221 here, you can find loose meds, very valuable meds there on the box, a weapons crate. You head left in this room, med bag, duffel bag, But then the big reason to come in here is it gets you to 218, which is the room we're in here. 2 weapon lockers, loose ammo, red keycard spawn on this barrel, weapons crate there, food and drink here, RSAS spawn in the bathroom. Remember the RSAS that was going for 1,000,000 rubles because gunsmith? RSAS can spawn in there. Not common, but it can be there. Okay, now we have 220 west, which is a fantastic room. As soon as you come in here, check left for a ton of stims right next to this weapons crate. A second weapons crate on the table, a third here on this box. And then here, you can find anything from chainlets to bitcoins. So check here on this box. Really good room to hit. 219 is an ammo and med room. I actually apparently have this key. I don't know when I bought this. I don't know why I have this key on me. But at least I can show you guys what's inside. Meds can spawn here on the right. Ammo on those barrels. Weapons crate. Weapons locker. Not, you know, it's a nice key to have, but you don't need it to come here to the resort. 216 is much better. So as soon as you enter 216 west, check left. Tech can spawn here. Tetris can be on the box or down here on the ground, as well as graphics cards. M4 can lay up against this chair. Weapons crate. Ammo spawn here. Food and drink spawn. Mayo. Moonshine can spawn here. Yes, moonshine is now a spawnable item. I've been finding it here often. Don't get it confused with this bottle. It blends right into the table. You can find even up to 2 moonshine I've seen spawn there at once. Another crate here. Meds on this table. Grenade box there for you. Okay, we're going to jump that barbed wire, but not too well. I'm going to skip a couple things here and show you guys the other room that is worth looting here on west, second floor. You have 205 here and you have 203. Both are connected. I'd recommend 205, seeing as how it's behind that wardrobe. Much safer from the view of Skybridge. I have 203. I really don't like it. Med bag in here. Duffel. Meds on the table. Red keycard spawn on the ground there next to the bed under that newspaper. Weapons crate out here. Meds on this table. Here as well. And here as well with this toolbox. So lots of valuables in here. Definitely worth checking out. But now we will head on up to the 3rd floor of West and talk that one through. What I'm going to do is actually show you guys this side of it first, because 3rd floor of West is actually blocked off in the middle, and you have to go down to 2nd to navigate to both sides of it. So like I said, the storeroom key can open up this room here. Nothing too crazy in there, but since you have the key that opens up multiple rooms, you might as well check it out. Duffel bag this way. Weapons locker there, but the big reason to come on this side of 3rd West is this safe right here, which is a key that I'm going to put up on the safe, sorry, on the screen right now. Actually, it's Health Resort 321? Yes! Health Resort 321 is the key that opens up this safe, so grab that if you want to check out that safe. And a weapons crate in here. A few more loose spawns in these side rooms. Like I said, nothing worth showing you guys, but it is there. And then there's a big blockade at the end of the hallway there, which is why we have to come down to 2nd floor so that we can navigate all the way to the other side of 3rd floor west, which is actually the better side, and I'll show you why. Sorry for that. So come up to this side of 3rd floor. As you can see, there's the blockade. There's a hole in the ground if you feel like dropping down there. Duffel bag in there as well. Well, what you want to come up here for is 2 things. One, you have 306 West. It's humble. It's fun. It's a quest room. It's got this scav you can loot, a med crate. This guy you can loot. Loose drinks, meds on the table, bed, sorry. And I have seen an M4 spawn on the bed. At the big ticket item, 301 West. Watch out for that dang plant. People like to sit here and watch the door, and believe it or not, I have missed them and just headed straight to the door, and they've shot me in the butt while I was unlocking this. So you come in here, check the ground here, not just for graphics cards that are staring you right in the face, but things can actually spawn under the rug and be hidden, and you can only see them when you like hover over it. Tetris can be under the rug. It's worth checking. Meds and LEDX spawn on these water jugs as well. I think you can tell this is a pretty great room. LEDX can spawn on this desk as well as loose meds. 2 PCs to hit, green crate for potential red rebel, and meds on the bed. So that's West 301. Really good stuff there. But now we're gonna head on over to admin, and the way I want to do that is walking through the connector. We'll drop down from second to first here in West, and we'll head through the connector. Food and drink on tables and couches in both the connectors. I guess we'll start underground and work our way up. There's 2 kitchens on either side of the admin. You can sometimes find food and water laying around on these shelves, but we come all the way down, start off in the basement here. We have the duffel bag to check out. Come in here, I've seen food and drink. I've seen sugar in here as well, which is worth good money. I've never seen any food or drink in here, but probably worth checking out just in case. All right, next floor up, LEDX can spawn on this surgical tray as well as Mayo ophthalmoscopes. And we come up one more floor. This side room has a duffel bag as well. Now we're on the main floor again. Come up this way. The theater has a dead scav up there that you can loot. Not really a huge reason to come up there. Skip that floor for now. Up here on the top floor of admin, lots of things to loot. I'll start on this side with the red keycard spawn under this ashtray. Be sure to check for that. Tech, graphics cards, Tetris can spawn all on these shelves, so be sure to check there as well. And there's a PC under this desk. We're on the east side of the admin building, in case you were wondering. Come in here, couch can spawn tech, desk can spawn tech, and then you have the... what is this? The resort management office safe key. To hit that safe, there's a PC there under the desk as well. Lots of loose stuff can spawn on the tables in here. The 216, West 216, one of the rooms I showed you in the west wing, spawns right here on this desk. And loose stuff will spawn here as well. There's a PC under this desk. Lots of good stuff here in admin. All right, heading on to the next room, you have PC number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All lootable, all valuable. Just be careful because the windows, people sitting behind those windows can see in here pretty well. Okay, there's a crate for you to loot there as well. And we have the band room here. Food and drink spawns on these chairs. There's a duffel and 107 west, San 107. I'm sorry, San 107 east. That is an east wing key for the first floor of east wing. Will spawn on these chairs. Be sure to look out for that as well. Moving on over to the west side of the second floor of admin, we have duffel bag, 4, 8, 12 filing cabinets, and health resort warehouse safe key, if I have that correct. Check for that safe there. I love hitting safes this patch. They seem to be more valuable than ever. Check this wooden shelving in here. You can find stuff that spawns. Wooden crate, loose ammo, and then 218 west, which is connected to 221, which is a red keycard spawn. Anyway, 218 west can spawn here on these lockers. So get you into a red keycard spawn, definitely worth it. I'll move on over to first floor east of admin here, drop through this hole in the ground. You can find food here on these shelvings. Like I said, this is the east kitchen, worth checking out possibly. And real quick, in this room here, you can find a PC if you're interested. But that's pretty much all of the admin building. Lots of goodies to loot in there. Weapons crate right here as well. Moving on over to east to the first floor, we have food and drink again on these side tables, a lootable dead scav, as well as a duffel bag to hit right in there. You cannot access the basement of East Wing. You can go down here slightly, but it's all barred off. Maybe one day they open that up. That'd actually be really cool. But we'll travel on first floor east for now. And this wing has a lot of goodies to offer. First of all, again, side rooms have duffels and med bags. Definitely worth checking out. 110, the key with tape. You get this off of Sanitar. This room is a LEDX room. You come in here. Oh my god. You can find LEDX and ophthalmoscope and stims on the ground out here. And under this hazmat suit, LEDX, ophthalmoscope as well. Okay, be sure to check for that. I've seen LEDX out here on this table as well, and as well as on the ground. PC under the desk. Gold chains can spawn here as well. Gold chains on this desk. Lootable suitcase. Stems can spawn there. Okay, quick side note. I'm not going to go back to show it, but West 101 has a pharmacy key spawn. Okay, I just found that out today by looking at the actual key map. I never knew about that. West 101, there is a table, a pharmacy key can spawn in there. I'll throw it up on the screen so you guys can see it. Anyway, we're in East Wing, first floor, 107. Like I said, this key can be found in the admin building on the chairs in that band room. This room has a bunch of duffels, med boxes and bags. Tech can spawn on this table, graphics cards. I have seen LEDX in here. It is a 0.001% chance to find a LEDX in here, but it is possible. Graphics cards are more common, so check for that. Making our way up to second floor now. Showcase the rooms worth checking out. We have this open room with the PC and med bag. Not a bad call there. But we have 226 and 222. Classic rooms, always full of good loot. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Typically full of good loot. Both connected, you just need one or other of the keys. As soon as you come in here, check this wooden shelving. LEDX will spawn in there. Don't be a fool and miss it. Weapons crate. Food and drink on the bed and table. Weapons crate there. Grenade box. Toolbox. Loose tech. Graphics card. Tetris. In this box, number of valuable items can spawn, so don't miss that. I come into this room, find that it's looted, and I see in the box a valuable item. I know you're a fool. All right, moving down the hallway of second, we have 218. This is an open room with a duffel bag, but you want to come over here to the balcony. Check this table for a red keycard spawn. Again, 75 million, kind of worth your time. Weapons crate there as well. Weapons crate in the middle of the hallway. These side rooms, again, will have some crates, some boxes. If I'm not mistaken, this one has 2. Yes, it does. Oh, a med bag as well. Check at your own risk, really. And quickly, I'll head on over right here. Remember the sky bridge? I was talking to you guys about this earlier. There's a wardrobe, 203, 205 west. Well, right here, you have 206, 205 east. Both connected. You just need one of the keys. Definitely worth coming in here as well. Duffel, med, box. Weapons can spawn there. This is the drawer on the bed that can spawn Bitcoin. So check inside of that. Please don't miss it. And next room over, loose meds, crates galore, gold chains here, and just an AK, silence baby AK I've seen on that box too. Weapons crate here as well. Moving on, we will go to this little side room here on 2nd of East. You can actually find the storeroom key and the East 226 key here on this key rack and on the ground. Almost under the rug there. People don't really check for that anymore. Worth a look if you pass through. All right, now we head on up to 3rd floor here of the East Wing. We have 306 as well as 308 that are connected. Again, you just need one or other of the keys. Come on in here. You have meds, you have food and drink. A potential gun spawn there. Jump this generator. Kind of difficult, but you can do it. I've seen streamer items on the bed. There's a crate there for you to hit, as well as 4 PCs. Always good loot to be found in there, so be sure to look out for that. Weapons crate there for you. 310 East used to be much better than it is now, but we still love it for nostalgic purposes. Gold chains, money, gold items here, as well as 2 duffels in this room. 313, 314 are connected. You need one or other of the keys to get inside, and the reason you want to come inside is not for the loose junk, the weapons crates, or anything like that. You actually want to come into this 313 room here. Check the top of this box for LEDX or Golden Star, as well as the ground here for LEDX. It can pretty much fall on the ground. Here's a weapons crate, med bag for you too. Moving on down, we have 316, which is a lootable weapons parts room. It's not bad. I don't have it on me. But if you want to bring it with you, it's a cool room to hit. You can find potentially good weapon parts in there. Duffel bag in the middle of the room here. Middle of the hallway here, sorry. Marked room. Check the pig's ear for gold chains. The other side of this tub for gold chains. And he's actually lootable too. continue making our way down. At the very end of the hallway here, we have the 328 room, which you can use a key for. It has its own key. This is the janitor's closet key I was telling you guys about that opens up 2 rooms at the end of West Wing. It also opens up this room. This is why you can have this one key open up 3 rooms. It's totally worth it. Get you right in 328. Computer parts will spawn here. There's a PC, duffel, weapons parts always spawn here as well. Euros on this desk. And I think that's everything, if I recall. Yes, the last thing I want to show you guys is this ridiculous thing I like to do when navigating through the Shoreline Resort. There's actually one more blue keycard spawn, and it's outside on the ambulance. It's very dangerous to do what I like to do here, but it's fun. So I like to shoot out this window, jump out here, land on that safely. Blue keycard spawn right here on the running board of the ambulance. Meds and med bag here in the back of it as well. And that's pretty much everything to loot inside of the Shoreline Resort. As far as keys go, that did not take as long as I thought it was going to. Like I said, I missed some duffels here and there and you know, stuff like that, but that is pretty much the gist of it. Now, truly, we are on the home stretch of this video, guys. I promise you, we're almost done. Coming out the back of admin, there's just a couple of reasons to head this way. For one, we have a key spawn that would be the East 205 key. Can spawn here at the edge of this box. Definitely worth checking, especially if you're heading out this way to take the Rock Passage extract, which is an optional extract that may or may not be open. Continue to head this way. You have a duffel bag right there and that little gazebo. Sniper scav can spawn on top of that rock there. And then you have scavs that will spawn here just across this bridge. Rock passage is right there in case you somehow didn't know. There will be green smoke to indicate that it's open. In rainy weather like this, the smoke will actually be black and it will be hard to see from a distance. So get close to check for that. It is possible to get on top of this rock and collect sniper scavs loot if you happen to kill him. Just a heads up. And as I'm looking at the map here, I'm seeing that we basically have one more point of reference to showcase you guys. So I'm going to speed this up a touch. Okay, so West Wing 303 key, which I believe is a useless key. I don't think it actually opens anything. Spawns on a box inside this gazebo. So be sure to check the boxes for that as well. If nothing else, if you're passing through, I'm sure it will vendor for a little bit of money. And there's a duffel for you guys too. Very last thing, again, we're going to speed this up. All right, here we are at the very last thing I have to show you at Shoreline, Grandma's house. Now, I don't know why it's called Grandma's house. I really don't. But you come up here, come on inside, and you have a chance to find a Red Rebel ice pick inside this green crate. And here's a weapons crate and some loose cracker spawns. And guys, that is dang near everything, if not everything, that you can possibly think to loot besides caches on the Shoreline Resort. I'm sorry, the Shoreline map in Tarkov. So we're done. I hope I didn't miss too much. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, hit that like button. This was a monster of an effort to record, so all the comments, likes, dislikes, whatever are much appreciated. And I just appreciate you guys continuing to check out these videos and supporting the channel as well. If you don't know, I stream on Twitch all the time. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them live. Otherwise, guys, thanks again for watching this video. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.